Khalil and Mr. Hagerty and the Backyard Treasures. Khalil's new house had an up and a down. Upstairs lived his family, which was big and busy and noisy. Downstairs lived Mr. Hagerty, who was quiet. Khalil loved that backyard. So did Mr. Hagerty. While Mr. Hagerty worked in his garden, Khalil hunted for bugs and interesting rocks. That summer, the house was hot. Upstairs and downstairs, it was much too hot. Even in the backyard, the sun burned and the air sizzled. Oh, one morning when Khalil went outside, everything looked droopy, even Mr. Hagerty. Khalil decided this would be a good day to find buried treasure. I'm Tricia Springstubb, and this is my new book, Khalil and Mr. Hagerty and the Backyard Treasures, illustrated by the wonderful genius Elaheh Taherian. It's a story of Khalil, a young, curious newcomer along with his family to the United States, an old, lonesome, sometimes pretty grumpy Mr. Hagerty, and the treasure they find right in their own backyard. It's a story about discovering connection where you don't expect it, about how one kindness often leads to another, and, very important, it's about chocolate cake. If you read it with your family, afterwards you might want to talk about some of the treasures you can find in your own house, in your own backyard. And remember, not all treasures can be held in your hand. Some of them you hold in your heart. You might even want to make your own treasure hunt with your family and friends after you read. Teachers, if you share it with a class, you can discuss what makes a friend. And if anybody has ever had a friend who's older or younger or from a different background or culture than they are, you can write narratives, personal narratives, or poetry about how sometimes friendship is easy, and sometimes not so much, but how it's always worthwhile. And don't forget, no matter where or when you read this book, have a big chocolate cake nearby, handy, because you are going to want some. Enjoy the book, enjoy the festival, and take care.